So, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome, the distinguished panelists. It's very hard to do justice to such a wonderful topics of big data, IoT, AI for smart cities. If we only have 10 minutes, we're going to run fast. We give everyone a chance to explore the intersection of technology and smart cities, especially in the big data, IoT, and AI focal areas. We have heard the what, why, and how throughout the day. And today we want to hear from every panelist about their own personal experience. And over the last few decades leading up to where we are today. And we want to hear from them about their understanding of the challenges, the approach, and the success. And we'll start from Dr. Zhongmin, please.
I just finished my talk, so I even don't have too much to talk. Actually, for the big data, we think this is a natural trend to this world. And our mission is to really push this trend forward. So we will see more and more big data issues. And after 5 years or 10 years, we are not going to talk about big data. Big data is a natural thing around us, so we are facing something new. Okay? And come back to the smart city, we will see some more and more deployment about the big data equipment, and new solution. I can see previous speaker, they have a lot of solution and the product was announcing. We will see that the natural trend in the next 5 or 10 years. And as IBM, we are always hiding in the background, provide the data analysis power and the infrastructure level provider, cloud platform provider. So this is what we are going to do, and we'll keep doing that. Yeah, that's for me.
Yeah.
So I'm Sherry Hu. Right now I'm running my own high-tech IoT systems in smart city, in smart energy and smart buildings. So what we do is we use wireless sensors to make the building smart, to save the energy, and also we make the information available for improving the building maintenance and improve the quality of service to the building occupants to make their life easier and happier. So there are huge business opportunities and also a brilliant future for this smart city IoT world. There's also huge challenge at the current time. So it's always like two sides for everything. So as a business owner myself, after many years of work in big corporations, I used to work for PJE, dealing with the smart grid, energy efficiency, building sustainability areas. I realized for the challenge, including it's a new things, right? So it takes time to people to accept the new things. We always talk about there's only less than 10% of people are early adopters. So for the new things, there's always a big challenge. And another thing is more about the security issues. The platform, as this Zhongmin talked about the infrastructure. He worked very hard for IBM, and those things are not matured enough. But although all those challenges, it's still very exciting area come. So I ask all of you who are in the audience today to help to broadcast the news to your friends and families and people you can influence, and also to help to improve these technologies, be part of this new exciting era. Thank you.
Okay, Dr. Zhou.
Yeah, I just finished my talk, so I just want to say one thing that the core of the IoT or whatever the smart things is the data. So the data is transformed from data to information, and information to knowledge, and knowledge to wisdom, and wisdom to decisions or outcomes. So each transformation in this chain would have value, would have business opportunities. And then that's what I just want to say, and I will give more time for some other panelists. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So I'll give very quickly some perspective from a venture investment perspective. So we're looking at, from the first generation of Hadoop-based data analysis to more sort of machine learning and deep learning platforms. So from within the context of smart city, I think if you're looking at all that, the data has become smarter. So we have done some investment in the area of very specialized niche, specialized area, for example, processing unstructured data for airplane engines and all that. But if you can looking at where is the overall data, the big data is leading towards, is more towards the deep learning. From what we see is, getting more trained data, and it's not about the volume only at this point in time. It's about the variety of the data. So how you can get more broad level of data, and then have more training of the data to the application level, whether it's going to be applied to medical or to traffic optimization in the city. You wanted to collect lots of different type of data. And I think that's where the trend that we see is from, where the platform is getting ready from analysis to more ad hoc based prediction model, and then use those data for specialized areas. And so that's the trend that I see, for the interest of time. I'll just stop here.
Dr. Cao.
Okay, my name is William Gao. I teach emerging technologies. And I would like to cover, since I'm the last speaker, I think I'll cover a little bit more about the theme that for this year was actually the focus was a little bit more on the artificial intelligence and machine learning. So let me just say a few words about the synergy between the front end, which is the IoT sensor-driven data collection, followed by the generation of humongous amounts of data. So the IoT and the big data is sort of like taken for as a given because of the huge amounts of data that any smart city or any regular city generates. So what I would like to talk about just for a couple minutes is about AI, machine learning, and the synergy with the big data. So basically, we can say that big data and AI, they need each other. And smart cities need both of them. Okay. So first of all, artificial intelligence definitely needs big data because AI without data, it cannot operate, right? It relies on humongous amounts of data in order to make AI and self-learning work. Okay. The second thing is that big data also needs AI. And the reason is also pretty simple, is that we have gotten to a point where I don't think that we can rely on humans to analyze the humongous amounts of data. So we need machines to help analyze the data. So data by itself, as one of the speakers mentioned, is useless. You need to move from data to information to knowledge. For the big data it needs AI to automatically process the data. And that's where machine learning really comes in. Okay. So I think that the front end is taken for granted. The data is already there. There's too much data. And I think that from now on, really the focus is on the analytics part of it. Because without the analytics, you cannot really make any recommendation, and therefore you cannot take any action. Okay. So I think that's the focus, the reason why everybody, especially like investors, are really looking to AI and machine learning as a way to really solve the big data problem. You know, IoT and big data they have created by themselves. And there's no question that IoT will continue to generate large amounts of data in the future. So it's what we do at the back end. And then that's going to really help the smart city citizens.
Thank you. So since we don't have much time, and I want to engage the audience to the Q&A section. If anyone has a question, if not, I'll ask some question. We'll give the audience a chance first.
So we talk about data as if it's something new, but when you think about it, humans have been working with data all their life. When we walk around, our eyes collect data, they send it to the brain, and the brain processes it, makes decisions. So really, when people say that data is the most valuable commodity, that has been true for, since the dawn of humanity, since the dawn of life. So what we're doing now is we're taking the analog data, and like you say, we're digitizing it, right? So we are creating a digital copy of our analog world that machines can process, whereas the analog data they cannot process. And they can help us make better decisions, drive better, decide better what our... Is that a fair comparison?
I'll quickly share data always exists, but I think we're present at the present time. I think we're at the, I guess I should say, at the unpresent time in the history that we can have the technology and have enough data that being collected and have enough computing power to be able to process them. So I think this gives the advantage. So if you're looking at, for example, the self-driving car, self-driving car is actually, a lot about the data that you have. So why is Google can implement, self-driving car, better or have advantage over the other, is because, they have a lot of information about the street through their map. They have a lot of information about traffic and information, so all that type of things that they can do pre-training of the data. And then the data can be readily available for decision-making in a very fast and, efficient fashion. So without those data, by just having the hardware on the car, that doesn't make autonomous driving really work. So that's where you have the data that's really important, that you have enough of information and a variety of information, and then you have analysis of that to be able to get to a level that you can be usable to those applications.
So let me also just supplement a little bit. You're right, data has always been around, just like water has always been around, right? But right now, can you actually drink out of the fire hydrant? That's the problem. The analogy is that, people say data is the new oil, data is the new electricity. Well, water has always been around, but right now, if it's too much water and you get flooded, that's the problem that we're dealing with right now. So first of all, the difference between now and before is that the amount of data is much larger than before, okay? Second thing is that now we're trying to make use of the data. So data by itself, if you don't do anything with it, it's useless, okay? So right now what we're doing is to say, can we actually extract information from the data and then help improve the city? That's what I think that we're at.
Yeah, let me add one more point. Yeah, I agree with them. Data is very important. I want to add another vision on this data domain. In our world, we have so many informations. We have weather, we have temperature, we have a lot of informations. Now we have a single tool. We can deal with the digital data. So we have to convert those information as a digital information, binary information, 0, 1, 0, 1, those type of information. This is what we are going to do. Okay? Once we have this data, we call this binary data. When you draw something on the paper, it's not the data we are talking about. And we really have the data need to a computer machine can read and process. So those comparison between the analog data and the digital data, usually we don't do that type of comparison because analog data we don't have efficient tool. Yeah, usually we have some graphic demonstration, something like that. But now we focus on the digitalized data. And this data we can see is growing exponentially. And so far we can estimate only 10% of the data was analyzed by the people. And then 90% of the data just waste. Okay? This is similar like we know the crude oil is useful just within 100 years. And people know this oil is more than 1,000 years. But initially we don't know how to use that. We just burn that. Okay? Now we can use that to drive the car, drive the aircraft. So it's something like we really have the beginning stage to analyze the data, understanding the data.
Excellent comments. I just want to add from the perspective of data-driven enterprise. I think over the last 20 years, we have just gone through a very intense period of digital transformation. And about 10 years ago, all the enterprises and government agencies are shifting their attention from the transactional system to the data-centric perspective. How do we turn the data into knowledge into insight into action into results? This preceded the term of big data. It was called enterprise data management and business intelligence. It's trying to do it across enterprise, from the silo development of the transactional system of each business unit. And about 10 years ago, I think every big enterprise are trying to develop the data integration platform, the master data management system for integrated reporting to have visibility and optimization and automation. Right now, I think we're in the IoT big data era. The data is more real time, and we're trying to do more to support more real time, decision support system to have real time visibility, optimization, and automation. So we're in a new age of Industry 4.0 or industrial internet or social innovation, depending on your term. We're just beginning, I think, that in a data-driven enterprise everywhere. I'm a practitioner. I've been to many Global 500 companies. I do service and solutions, and I orchestrate the platform, the data science, and application to their business problem solving. Everywhere, it's far from being mature. We're trying to complete the enterprise-driven, data-driven enterprise in a disparate fashion from different BU. And I think it's a great opportunity for all of us to make contributions to smart cities and Industry 4.0. Thank you.
Sorry to be interruption. I guess if anyone of the audience did not validate their parking ticket, I guess people had to validate right now in Rotunda registration because they're gonna take the machine away. So if they're gonna validate the ticket for the